Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where this is going to be a very good afternoon. An afternoon filled with hypercars and a pretty epic trio that we're taking out for a drive. Let me just start by opening up the garages right here. The Yonge Steeles private collection. We're going to be joined by Roy in a moment as well. But look behind us, the Bugatti Veyron, the original 16.4, the Porsche 918 Spyder, and the car that I'm going to be driving today, the Ferrari LaFerrari, one of my favourites, and we're taking out all three of the white hypercars to go for a little drive together. This is going to be a good one. Let's get them started up, let's pull them on out, and let's go drive. Well, this is pretty epic, isn't it, Roy?
Yeah, it's definitely good, and you know it's good when the 599 GTO is the car staying up on the lift and not getting any attention because it's not cool enough to be with the rest.
I hadn't actually mentioned that yet. 599 GTO up top, plus Bentley Continental GT Convertible.
Yeah, and the GTO is not a regular GTO, it's Bianco Fuji, and it's a very special livery. It was from OB Prestige before, and I think you filmed that collection.
Yeah, I've been up to OB Prestige.
Which is very cool because that's Bianco Fuji, and the car underneath that is the LaFerrari, which is Bianco Fuji Opaco, which is the satin or matte finish on the LaFerrari and has the exact paint matched wheels. So this is one of 4 cars in the world in this color, and this is the only one with the FXXK wheels in the matching paint.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Next to that is the only 918 ever made in this spec. So this is a non-YSEC car, but most 918s, I'm sure you know, have all the green piping and green accents on the interior.
Yeah.
This interior is fully red with white piping, white like stitching, everything. So there's no green at all on the interior. So there's no other one like this. And this car, I believe, as of now, has about 700 kilometers on it.
Okay.
But we're not too scared to drive it. The car just joined collection 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay, cool. But we haven't yet mentioned the story of this.
So this is a very interesting story. So I'm sure everybody knows Floyd Mayweather is a huge car collector. He had, I think at the same time, he had 4 Bugatti Veyrons, but totally had a ton of them. This one was a part of his white car collection. It didn't have the matte white wrap that it has on it now before. It was kind of a very similar paint scheme to the interior. It was kind of like an off-white with like a light blue. But you can tell that this is Floyd Mayweather's car, because if you look inside, it still has the Money Team mats, which were custom made for him. And this is also a very low mileage car. I think it has about 3,000 miles. And it's, you know, a very perfect example of the 16.4, which is one of the most iconic hypercars you can say ever made.
For sure. And the next thing you're going to tell me is that it's like a delivery mileage LaFerrari or something.
No, this one has mileage of about 1,500.
So I can drive it.
You can drive it, and you will drive it.
That's cool. So we're going to be taking out the 3. I think you're going to drive the 918.
Yeah.
I'm going to drive the LAF. We're going to take out these together. It's a strange world when you leave a 599 GTO behind at home.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, I don't think there's many collections out there that really gets outshined.
But we're going to get some cold starts, get these fired up, get them pulled out, and in a moment, I'm going to hop on board and drive this. It is time to pull these out. I happen to have all of the keys here, the Bug key, the 918 key, and the LaFerrari key, and that's really pretty cool. Do you want to take the Bugatti key?
No problem.
We'll start there, start with the Veyron. So nice. Tell you what, it's hard to believe, that is nearly 20 years old.
Yeah, so 06 was the first year, so those are coming up on what, almost
Well, 16 years,
old.
17 years.
This one's an 08, so this thing is 15 years old almost.
That's crazy, that's absolutely crazy.
And 15 years later, 1,000 horsepower is still a ton of power for a car.
Absolutely. Well, give it a fire up. Let's hear that W16.
Let's do it.
Deep, thunderous start. Oh, yes. That's what we like.
Yeah, sounds like a jet.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Right, pull that one out.
Yeah.
Out into the sunshine. So cool. So, so cool. Right. I think the Bugatti Veyron is going to lead the charge for this drive. For now. Nice. Then we're down to 2, 918 next.
Yeah, and of course this one is one of the hybrid hypercars, and it is plugged in. So before we start driving it, we do have to unplug it.
Not too complicated.
No, just gotta, I think I gotta unlock the car first.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it comes out.
Nice and easy.
Put it down and we're good to go.
Perfect. Smooth and simple. Going to leave the roof panels on for the moment though, right?
Yeah, I think it's gonna take too long.
Do you have to latch it?
No, you just put it down.
Ah, so as soon as you start driving, it kind of locks it.
Yeah,
I should probably have known that. So are you going to troll me and pull it forwards in electric?
I probably will.
No, you got to start it.
I don't know.
You got to start it.
Are you sure? I don't know if your audience deserves a cold start. I don't know.
I think we do.
Okay, let's do it then.
Red leather interior on white.
So yeah, there's no other ones that have the red, I think, with no green stitching and piping.
That's
so
crazy.
Even the line on the steering wheel, everything here is white.
That's
so
actually
it's
really
very,
crazy.
very different.
Go on then, get it started up. Let's have a listen. Let's check this out. Key in. Then this is where you have to twist it into.
Ready?
Ready when you are. Sounds good. Get this pulled out. Carefully does it. Very, very nice. Very nice. Look at that into the sunshine. Gorgeous car. So, it'll be my turn now with the LaF. Right, my turn. LaFerrari. Let's squeeze around here. There's something about a LaFerrari that makes it so extraordinarily special. Now the cars have full PPF and there is also some foam padding under here, so delicately does it. We're all good. Swing inside the carbon tub of the LaF. Kind of reverse in. Oh, you sit so low in here. It's so cool. It's so, so cool. Key in, foot on the brake, press and hold. Take a listen. Oh, wow. That's really loud. That's mega. So we're going for a drive. My perspective right here, Roy's perspective over on his channel, Drive with Roy. So check that out as well. For the moment, let's pull this out. Here we are then, LaFerrari following the 918, and in front of that is the Veyron. This is a little bit crazy. Now, the last time I drove a LaFerrari was about a year and a half ago with my friend 458 Destroyer, and it was the most fabulous drive. This is a car that is just me in a nutshell. Everything about it. V12, crazy power, super limited. Of course, there were 499 and then a 500th of the coupe, and then they made just over 200 of the Apertas. But crawling along right now, we are not using the 963 metric horsepower, 950 brake horsepower that this thing offers, but look at those two with the views right now, the foliage at this time of year. So if I go to the Manatino on the steering wheel, this is where you can turn it up into race mode, hit the auto button just so we can drop some gears quickly. I mean, this is where, wait for it, wait for it. That engine sound is to die for, as is following these two. I mean, the Veyron is now in handling mode, actually, you can see, with its wing up, and the 918 has its wing up as well. I don't have any control in here for this car's wing to go up. Gosh, this trio, just as we head slightly away to be able to open it up a little bit more, is a little bit crazy. Just a little bit, you know, tiny little bit. How often are you driving in a LaFerrari with this view in front? Just up and down, third and second. It already feels cool. It already feels very cool. And look at these views. Look at the trees. This is awesome. This sound as we go past Roy in the 918. Then we've got the Bug. I mean, we're just taking it super easy at the moment. Wow. Out onto the highway. Just letting this thing scream. Second gear. But the thing with the LaFerrari is that while it's quite a big, you know, not particularly light thing with all of the hybrid technology, it still feels small and nimble, and that's the strange thing about it and what they did so well. This is unbelievable. Just notice the Bug's back out of handling mode. Gives slightly more ground clearance. Handling mode keeps it right down. This is magical. And now I'm just looking at the two behind me. Oh my my goodness. The deep grumbly sound of power. 918 coming through. It's so sharp. The steering is so precise and darty. This is just so cool with these cars together like this. I've got the window down at the moment just to hear even more of the engine. It's the soundtrack from the LaFerrari is to absolutely die for. Just look at the shape of the Veyron. This is what I was talking about. Even though it's just on a slip road, when you turn in the LaFerrari, the front end is so communicative and dialed in. It's really, really quite something, the feedback that you get from it. If I drop it to first gear just quickly though, slightly open bit of road in front. Wow. Let's see if we can navigate some of this traffic to catch back up with them. It's looking a little bit busy and I'm not entirely sure where we're going, so I'll have to work this out as we go. Yeah, unfortunately not the easiest in the world to do. I tell you what, if you saw this trio on the highway together, you would certainly have a moment of what on earth am I looking at? I'm just kind of looking through the wheels of the trucks trying to spot them. There they are. Wow. I love how much he's smiling in there. Driving in that. The two together. This is where I slow down. Just let them go past. How often do you see three hypercars like this on the road together? Look at that. It's the fact that they're all in like matching specifications. They're all white cars. Obviously this has white wheels, those two have silver wheels. I mean dual tone technically on the 918. But the trio together is just something else. This trio is just so unbelievable. Got to stop, can we go? Yes we can go, then we can catch them up. The shifts are so precise, so clean, so sharp, so instant. This is something quite fun, because this is of course a hybrid. While you can't drive it at normal speeds on the battery, you'll see here it says E1 ready, because effectively the E motor is ready, and if I just come off the pedal, off the brake, we creep forwards. I don't want to rear end the 918, but we start moving, because that's effectively all you can do. As soon as you touch the throttle pedal, as I'm about to do, the engine instantly starts. So if I lift off the brake now, we're creeping. We creep completely fine on electric, and yeah, the lights change, so we're not going to be going anywhere with that traffic at the moment. But were I to touch the throttle pedal, you have the V12 instantly just straight into action, and my word, does that 6.3 litre naturally aspirated V12 sound good. It sounds so, so good. So here we go, we're creeping on the pedal. There we go, instantly, although, yeah, we're not exactly going very quickly here. Let me just, no, I don't think we need the lift system, but we are kind of stuck in the middle of a junction. I hope we're going to be able to get through. Yes, we are. Good stuff, good stuff. So now we can actually hear and enjoy. There we go, valve open, first gear. Such a good wail. That noise is just, it's a symphony. It's a glorious symphony, and it revs to 9,000. Yeah, so we're back on electric again. It's quite weird. It's like stop-start, but like stop-start that we know from plenty of cars and plenty of more ordinary cars, but like the next step of that, because obviously it's the way that it allows you to start moving and then the engine starts. It's very different to the SF90. Obviously the SF90's technology is the next generation on from this. But yeah, It's a very, very, very cool thing to be driving. Even more so when it's in this little convoy, this little combo of the cars from Yonge Steeles. What a collection. What a cool collection. What a cool set of cars to drive. I think we're swinging back down towards the highway. This sound is just phenomenal. That's not even the red line. That's not even up to the red line. I drop it to second. Let me see if I can even get to the red line. Gosh. What an amazing car. This is really one of my one-day cars. I'd love to drive a Daytona to see what effectively this kind of setup is like. The Daytona shares so many similarities with the LaFerrari, but obviously without the hybrid tech means you don't have that instant torque, that instant go, but you do have a car that's a touch lighter. It's going to be a different feel, but still based around the carbon monocoque and still based around the V12, but then with 840 horsepower from the V12 as opposed to just shy of 800, I think, in this. Either way, I'm not complaining about today. This isn't a drive you get to do very often. We're going to be saying goodbye to the Veyron here, in fact, because we're heading straight back, and that's going to be joining us in a moment. So that means we have the how horrific situation of sitting with this as a lineup. We'll be regrouping again shortly as we sneak away in this direction. Wait for the 918. It's so quiet. When you're in a 918, it seems ridiculously loud because the exhaust pipes are right behind your head. But when you're following it, I'm actually surprised by how little of it we hear. Obviously, this is really loud, which doesn't help in the balance of things. But still, a little bit surprised by that. Can we go? Yeah, we can go. All right. Back with this phenomenal view through the trees. What a place to be. Disco lights on the left. Somebody's having a bit of a party at their unbelievable house. Yeah, I mean, last thoughts while driving this. Every time I've been lucky enough to drive the LaFerrari, and I've had a few incredible outings, as I mentioned, with 458 Destroyer, but I also drove Greg B's LaFerrari Aperta in Sardinia. I drove Wires Only's LaFerrari around Beverly Hills. I've been lucky to drive a few of them, and it's quite amazing to think about that. But every time, it's just so perfect. It's so much hitting the sweet spot with an absolute bullseye of what a car like this should be. And back when the Holy Trinity launched, initially I was fully in the P1 camp. I thought the P1 was the most incredible of the three. I was a McLaren guy. Then the 918 grew on me. The 918, with its daily usability and slightly more friendly approach to the next generation of hybrid systems and the way it uses eDrive, etc., etc. But over time, I've swayed in this direction. This car is like the Holy Grail. This car is just so spectacular in every way. Yeah, I feel very lucky to have been able to drive it today because it's awesome. It's really awesome. Well, we have made it back. The garages are completely empty, and I am going to pop this into neutral for a second because wow, Roy's looking at me like, what are you doing? It sounds so good. I'm sorry, I'm a child.
What do you think of the car?
Epic. What an epic drive, right? Let's pop out. Oh, that was mega. Absolutely mega. Hey, there's a grab handle here. Never used that before. That's definitely for getting in. Never even noticed it before in the Alcantara. Look at this, the squared off steering wheel. That was cool. Now that's quite the view. The three cars parked back up, looking epic. That was a really, really, really awesome drive. Don't forget to go and check out Roy's channel as well for his perspective from the 918 Spyder. But yeah, driving in one of the greatest cars of recent times, quickly approaching a decade old. And that's the crazy thing. I remember when this was introduced at the Geneva Motor Show, the first time that Luca di Montezemolo pulled the covers off of the car on the Ferrari stand, being so excited to film some video clips and to get them onto YouTube. And in fact, I'm pretty sure if you search for LaFerrari by upload date and find the oldest video on YouTube, it was actually my upload before Ferrari had even uploaded it themselves. I feel very closely attached to this, the successor to the Enzo, F50, F40, 288 GTO, that lineage from Ferrari. And of course, who knows what's going to come next. I wouldn't be too surprised if in the next year or two, we're starting to see whatever it is that Ferrari have been working on to introduce as the next model in this line. I just think the shapes of it, all of the curves, the openings, the doors, the cooling, the bodywork, the spoiler at the rear that pops out from here that I mentioned earlier, that pops up depending what you're doing. You don't really notice it from inside. This view through the rear window towards the engine is glorious as well. And although you can't bring all that much luggage with you because there is only the tiniest of tiny spaces up front, it's not really a car for that, is it? It's a car for enjoying, for driving, for having an epic time with. So there we go. What a drive. Last stop here in Toronto, and a pretty cool way to go about it. Huge thanks to Yonge Steeles for the opportunity to spend some time here with the private collection, to drive some of the cars. It has been absolutely mega. And of course to Roy for his help with all of the things we've been getting up to in Canada. That's it for now though. Thank you very much for watching as always, guys. I appreciate your support an awful lot, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.